Searching, searching, searching. Listening for a howl. Trying to find tracks. I'm collecting hair samples. I'm getting all the facts. 'Cause I'm looking for a Bigfoot. I'm searching for a Bigfoot. I'm looking for a Bigfoot, Bigfoot. Eyes, eyes everywhere. Looking for a Bigfoot. I'm searching for a Bigfoot. I'm looking for a Bigfoot, Bigfoot. Searching, searching, searching. In the Sasquatch triangle, I'm lost in the woods. I'm trying to get him wrangled up, put him on my hood. 'Cause I'm looking for a Bigfoot. I'm searching for a Bigfoot. I'm looking for a Bigfoot, Bigfoot. Eyes, eyes everywhere. I'm looking for a Bigfoot. I'm searching for a Bigfoot. Looking for a Bigfoot, Bigfoot. Searching, searching, searching.
With the players.
Live direct from hell, final.
But hey, enough of my yakking. What do you say? Let's boogie.
Yes, sir. And that is my cue to start the show. Welcome to another edition of the Hard Rockin' Sports Show live from high atop Hard Rockin' Sports Studios in beautiful scenic Monroe, New Jersey. This is our weekly 3-hour get-together where we bring you all the biggest news from around the worlds of hard rock, heavy metal, and, of course, the wide world of sports. And, guys, welcome to Thursday, June the 16th in the year of our Lord 2022. And I hope you guys have had a great week. I hope you guys love pulling up to the gas station and paying $5 for gas. I hope you love going to the store and paying 20% more for the food you're trying to eat. No, I don't. I really don't. You know, I just asked the question, if you voted for Joe Biden, do you regret it? If you didn't vote for Donald Trump, do you regret it? Now, people are going to say, oh, Tom, you know what? You know, this could have happened anytime. Trump could have. But here's the thing. We had very high gas prices, not this high, but under Obama. But we didn't have them under Trump. I wonder why. Now, guys, I'll be the first to tell you that Donald Trump's probably the biggest asshole. But the guy was a good president. Lots of good policies. And then a good part of this country voted in a moron. And I'm sorry to say it. You know what? He's our president. He's my president. I didn't vote for him, but he's my president. The guy's a moron. And I am just curious out there if you guys are listening and you got the balls to say, hey, I voted for Joe Biden and I don't regret it. Or, hey, I just had to get rid of Donald Trump. Is it really worth it? Was it really worth it for some nasty tweets? Now the media's turned on Joe. They're out there ripping him every night, all day, telling him, please don't run again. He's saying, I'm going to run again. He'd be 86 years old if he was elected again. At the end of his term, he'd be 86. Could you imagine what Joe would look like 6 years from now? The guy can barely put two sentences together now. So while we all suffer at the gas pumps, at the food stores, I went to dinner at a restaurant last night. There wasn't a steak under $60. Good steak, though. Can't argue it. Everything's up except the morale of this country. So maybe for a few hours tonight, Jeff and I could sit back, entertain and inform you, and make you forget. But I'm curious. If you got the balls out there and you're friends of ours, let me know. Did you vote for Joe Biden? And do you regret it now? I'm curious. Let's see if anybody's out there's got the balls to say whether they do or don't. In the meantime, we got a lot to talk about. The Yanks are on fire. 30 games over 500. 30 games over 500. They'd have to go into a serious tailspin, folks, to not make it. The Mets playing great baseball. The two best teams in baseball reside here in New York. It's going to be a fun summer and maybe a great October. We'll see. But this Yankee team is special. And we'll talk about it tonight. This team is special. They got just everything working. They can pitch. They got relief pitching, starting pitching. They're hitting for average. They're taking bases. They're doing the little things. And yes, they are the Bronx Bombers. They are leading the league in home runs. This is a fun team to watch. If you like baseball, this is going to be a fun summer. Yankees and the Mets playing good baseball. The Mets are going to get back a couple of big pitchers in the near future. So this is going to be an interesting year. We got the mini camps for football all winding up right now. It's going to be a lull for the next month. But, a couple things for the Mets I want to talk to Jeff about. Mekhi Becton tells you he's on fire. And I will tell you, if that guy is every bit of 400 pounds standing on that stage, if he's trying to make people forget, boy, oh boy, I got some questions for Mekhi Becton. Zach Wilson's on fire. Vegas has the Jets under 5.5 wins. I don't know. I don't know who's got it, but don't forget, if you want to talk football, this Sunday morning, 9 a.m., the Sunday Audible returns. Jeff, myself, and John Myhefka will team up. Thank you. A little rocking number. Thank you. Yes, I want to thank the boys from Black Sasquatch for letting us play Finding a Bigfoot. Those guys are my favorite. They're true fans of the show. They listen every week, and we are true fans. I listen to those guys all the time when I'm working on the show, and I thought I'd reward them. I won't say reward them. I want to thank them and put them on the little spotlight. And I think we're going to be playing a lot of their stuff every week because I love those guys. And Bub and Ted and the boys are just good people and fun to listen to. So let's get the show started. We got a lot to talk about tonight. So much to do. And it won't get started until I get my man Jeff Towinski on, and he's the sexiest man on his side of the screen.
What's up, man? What's going on?
Not much, pal. It's, another week in the books. We're halfway through the halfway point of the year, and Jeff, let's start off the right way. Jeff, how was your week?
Long, as always, every week.
And how was the big gig last Saturday night with Lithium?
Could have been better.
Okay.
A couple mistakes.
Well, there are people out there who think if you're not doing things perfectly, Jeff, that maybe it's time to hang it up. I mean, I'm not so sure. So are you saying that you weren't perfect?
Far from it. Far from perfect.
Will you be selling the Lakeland and all the equipment because you can't be perfect?
No, I don't give a fuck what certain people say, to be honest with you. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. That's why I bring it up. But did you have fun? Did you have a good time? I saw what looked like some great pictures, some nice people out there watching you guys play.
Yeah, listen, I mean, to me, isn't that the whole point of it? We're doing it in the first place because we were attracted to the fun aspect of it.
I would imagine, Jeff, it's just a way to beside to get up there and live your fantasies and have some fun, also to drag some friends out and play in front of them and then have a couple of beers and a few laughs.
And that's exactly what happened. I had several people there that came to hang and watch the band play.
Good for you.
It was cool. And listen, I'm not too worried about the thoughts of others,
the naysayers, as they call them, the naysayers.
The naysayers, yeah. I feel as though that was directed towards me.
I would not argue that fact, Mr. Towinski. I would not argue that fact. And much like you, I'm happy you don't care.
Oh, I mean, listen, what is the point of caring about it? I mean, what do you give a fuck? You know what I mean?
I got you.
Something like that. You're sitting in your house not doing anything anyway. So what's the difference?
I would agree with that. And again, Jeff, let me bring it up to you. I know you're no fan of the former president. I know who you voted for, and I would never say that's your business. But what's your thoughts on the economy? Just a minute or two on the, if you don't mind.
No, I don't care. First of all, I did not vote for Trump, but I did not vote for Biden.
I
I
know
could
that.
not bring myself to vote for either one of these two fucking imbeciles. I think one is worse than the other for different reasons. And I'm not saying that Biden was the answer. I never thought Biden was the answer, else I would have voted for Biden.
Right.
I think I don't know what the plan is here, but it's certainly not a good one.
No,
Okay?
no, it's not. No, it's not.
I believe there is a plan. And
Well, you know what? Here's the plan. I'll tell you what the plan is, if you don't mind. I will tell you what the plan is. The plan is they want to force us to go electric. That's the plan. They want us to be so beaten up and get. I mean, California's got $10 a gallon gas. There's places in California, $10. They want things to get so bad that we're forced to go electric. And you know, Jeff, here's the thing. I have no problem in the future going electric. Listen, I'm all for clean energy. You know, I'm all for all of that. But you can't go today, shut off the pumps, and then go, okay, by the way, go out and buy a $60,000 car that's electric. By the way, that we don't have enough places to charge you up. Oh, and by the way we create that electric, we use fossil fuels. So none of this makes any sense.
No, none of it, please. None of it makes any sense. First of all, real quick, Anthony Carey.
Love you, my brother.
Knock off the bullshit, get on a plane, come back over home. Come on.
Anthony, you come back. We put the Hard Rocket Sports Band back together easily.
It's time. This is a failed experiment. Let's go. We're running out of time. I'm running out of time. It'll be 56. Let's give this one more shot. Come on, man. Second, I work in a field that relies on machines of all kinds, trucks, vehicles. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me give you a little quick insight
Please.
to electric. Okay. For those that don't know, it sucks. You get an electric vehicle, no matter what you put on with the electric vehicle, it runs off electric. So you put the air conditioner on, it's killing the battery. Put the radio on, it's killing the battery. Put the heat on, it's killing the battery. Start the car up, you're killing the battery. If you run out of electric, your battery runs low and it shuts off. Okay. You can't even jump the car because some of them have more than one battery system. So you have to jump one battery first in order to get a trickle going to the car so that you could jump the second system to get the car running. Okay. Now they want to make electric trucks and we just got a hybrid dump. We have a couple hybrid trucks at work. Little mini garbage trucks and a rack truck. I don't think either one of them is as strong as a diesel powered truck.
Right.
We went for a demonstration on Tuesday, I believe it was. Tuesday for a battery operated lawnmower, ride-on mower.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All the thing did was knock the grass down. It really wasn't cutting that well. I just don't understand what the fascination is. Sooner or later, it is going to be perfected and it's going to be better. But right now, just leave it as is. And I've heard and read in more than one place that we have enough that we know about. We have enough fuel that we know about for like the next 4.5 generations of people.
Sure.
They were saying that's underground right now. I don't understand. I mean, evidently they have a hand in the building of electric cars or something. It's got to be. It has to be.
Of course. Listen, there is nothing happens in this country without money being exchanged. So somebody's paying somebody to say, hey, let's push electric cars. Now, all the manufacturers are coming out with electric cars. I get that part of it. But, Jeff, under the Trump, and again, I know you're not a fan of Trump, and I can get that. The policies were great. The bullshit was the bullshit. But under Trump's administration, this country actually had so much gas, so much fuel, that we were selling it to other people because we couldn't do anything with it. We were paying $2.20 a gallon. We
always, just so you know, because I've read up on this stuff for years, we've always sold our oil.
Right. But we weren't buying from anybody else.
We always have. We've
Not-
always bought
Not during those 4 years.
we bought oil from other people because it was cheaper to buy oil from other people and sell ours, so we were making a profit. So they were doing
Okay.
both.
Okay,
All right.
I would
Now,
agree with that.
I
Yes,
don't know-
I would agree with that.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it because it's like, why are you buying oil from somebody else when you already have it?
Well, I'll tell you one instance. There was a point a couple of years ago, toward the third year Trump was in office, where the Russians and the Arabs flooded the market with oil, and it caused basically it was like a negative on oil. Like you could buy a barrel of oil for $1, like it was that cheap. So Trump went to both of them and said, either you're going to stop doing this, stop pumping out oil, because you're causing the markets to collapse. And if you keep doing it, I'm going to smack the shit out of you. And they stopped. And then he went and he bought all the oil that they were selling for $1. And he called them up and said, by the way, I bought all your oil and now I got it. And I'm going to sell it to somebody else and make a profit on it. Thank you very much, which is smart business. But again, at the end of the day, we don't need to buy anybody else's oil. We can produce
No,
our
we
own
don't.
oil.
We
100%.
we have it, but for whatever reason, they have it, they produce it, refine it, and then sell it to other people and buy other people's oil. I guess because they're making a profit on our oil.
No, you know what it is? It's a way to be able to give our money to somebody else. Listen, if the United States just handed the Saudis or the Russians or whoever money, it looks funny. But if you say, I'm buying their oil, and that's why I'm giving them so much money, there's a reason why we're giving the Russians $50 million a day to buy their oil. And I don't get any of this. But that's, again.
If they're spending $50 million a day on oil, but they're making $75 million a day by selling theirs, it is
right
what
now
it
they're
is.
not. Yeah, not right now they're not. But
Why we're not in the fucking oil business. But I know this much. They're killing us. They're fucking killing us. Okay. And this idiot is just sitting by and letting it happen.
Yeah.
And every time that they turn around and say, oh, we're going to cut the sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you cut the sales tax 15, 16 cents a gallon, then gas shoots up 15, 16
Correct.
cents.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right.
And I don't understand this either.
What's that?
You go to a mobile gas station last year at this time and buy gas, say, for $2.20 a gallon. Then you go to a BP gas station down the street and it's $2.22 a gallon.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to a Shell gas station 3 blocks away and it's $2.19 a gallon.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, gas is pretty much the same price across the board, no matter what station you go to. Last year at this time, the price always fluctuated a little bit. It may be 2 cents cheaper here, 3 cents more expensive there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
It's just interesting how, like, all of a sudden now every place it's all the same, and gas stations, they're not making no fucking profit on this. They can't.
No, they can't because the price is getting juiced on them. So they're making the same profit they were making before. They're just juicing the price. We're paying the difference, but they're making the same profit.
I don't think they're making a profit as it is, to be honest with you. I heard. Now, once again, I don't know how true this is, that they were only making pennies on the gallon.
Oh, I have no idea.
If, they would have to sell God knows how much to make any kind of a profit. But I guess if you're paying $20,000 for a load of gas and you know that in 3 days you're going to sell it, but you're going to make $24,000, you make $4,000 on gas. Now, how much could they possibly be making? They can't mark it up that much because then nobody will buy it from them. There's people waiting online in Costco at this point in time for God knows how long because gas is $4.80 a gallon.
Yeah, for 20 cents.
I just go buy $5 a gallon. That's it.
I agree with you on that. In fact, I was in Costco last weekend, and I wasn't going to sit. It was $4.85, I think, at that point. And
don't get me wrong. If there's no line and I could pull right up to the pump, then yeah,
of course.
But I'm not gonna sit online for God knows how long.
I couldn't agree with you more. Again, listen, at the end of the day, it's a perfect storm. Back when Obama was president, we got into the high threes. I don't know if he hit 4 or not. I don't remember we hit 4.
I want to say he did.
It was close.
I don't remember. It was
It was close. But what happened was everybody stopped driving for a while. There was a lot of people who stayed off the cars. People were commuting together, taking mass transit. It's the perfect storm now because people have been locked up for so long. Now we finally got our freedom, and nobody wants, and then you have the crappy subway systems and mass transit systems. So nobody wants to do that, and people want to go out and go on vacations and drive to different places and get out of the house. So it's the perfect storm. It's, you don't want to pay $5 for gas, but you don't want to get stuck in the house. We've been stuck for 2 years.
This fucking guy.
Frankie, I gotta have some fun. Frankie Catalano, I love Frankie. He's the best. But
I'd rather talk about all this depressing stuff. The sound Denver Broncos is depressing enough to me.
Yeah, the Broncos are going to be depressing when they finish third, maybe fourth this year, Frankie. Sorry. So, but this fact, Saturday morning, the Sunday Audible returns for a show or two. This Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Check out Facebook and, of course, our website, SundayAudible.com. I know Jeff's working, so I'm not sure he'll be joining us, but we will be doing a Sunday Audible show.
I have my boss actually asking me, like, you guys are doing a show? You guys are doing a show? So I don't know, like, I was like, I got to see what's going on, see what's going on here and everything. Mm-hmm. And I know what's going on there. Not much. But I don't know what I'm going to be able to do or not do. So I'll see.
Listen, it's not September, so it's not that important. But of course, it ain't the same without you. We'll talk a little about the Jets tonight. We'll talk about the Rangers. An impressive season, a great playoff run that came to a crash, but a fun season nonetheless. I want to get to Jack Del Rio and his statement and the ridiculousness. And Jeff, I have to tell you. I'm not a Washington communist fan. You know that, but we've held on to the name Redskins. We around here we consider them the Redskins. They will always be the Redskins. But I have to tell you, I want them to lose every game starting today. If they played a scrimmage game in their building, if they were playing checkers in their building, I want them to lose. Because of what they did to Jack Del Rio. And I'm no Jack Del Rio fan. Don't get me wrong. I think the guy's a horrendous coach. Did you follow the story at all?
I saw it, but I jumped in late.
All right.
I know he said something comparing January 6th to something.
Well, we're going to get to it. I'm going to play you what he said. And as far as I know, we still live in the United States of America where you're allowed to have your own opinion of things. And
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because I got to say something.
Go ahead. Everybody
bugs out when a celebrity says something, especially when that celebrity, when their opinion is different than yours.
Right.
Then they're wrong. These guys should keep their mouth shut. They shouldn't say anything. Who the fuck are they? Then a celebrity comes along and says something that you agree with. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm not you in particular, but I've seen people bug out on Facebook, and now it's like, well, we forgot our freedom of speech, our First Amendment rights, this, that, and the other thing. Here's the thing. If you're going to let celebrities talk, you got to take the good with the bad.
100%.
Okay? I do believe that most of them are fucking idiots.
Yes.
But just because you agree with one or two doesn't make it right either. These people are paid to entertain us. They do have their own rights, opinions on shit. But I don't give a fuck about their opinions. I don't care about anybody's opinion, to be honest with you. Very few people at all. Just entertain us and do it behind the scenes with your friends. Don't come out and do it on a forum where nobody else could refute what you say, regardless of who you are.
See, I think they're dumb for making it because you're only going to piss off half the people anyway. But I respect the right to you to say it. All I say is, if you're going to allow people to have one opinion, allow the people to have two opinions. Everybody should have their own opinion, and nobody should be, held back. So we'll get to that. I want to talk to you about that. I want you to hear what he said.
Yeah,
and
please.
Decide if he should have been fined $100,000 and made to apologize for his comments. We'll get to that. I want to talk to you about Metallica and Napster. We'll talk about the Yankees. Aaron Donald gets a raise, and I'm going to ask Jeff who the top 3 defensive players of all time are. We'll get Jeff's take. Tony La Russa should be fired. I want to ask Jeff also if Aaron Judge hits 62 homers, is he the official home run king? We'll talk about that tonight. Nestor Cortez forgives Jim Cott. Tyreek Hill says one quarterback is more accurate than his last quarterback. We'll see if Jeff agrees. Bruce Smith says Tony Baselli is a Hall of Famer because of one game against him. I think he's a little full of it. Jerry Rice admits to using an illegal substance. We'll talk about that. What's the measure to determine whether an offensive lineman is a Hall of Famer? I'll get to that a little bit later. Ozzie has neck surgery at 73 and doesn't want to retire. And then we're going to talk about Yusikan. I think it's Yusishin. I can't pronounce it. And Metallica. It's a new way to learn music, and I want to get Jeff's take on it. So we're going to get to all of that tonight. I want to get Jeff's opinion. First, I want to ask you, what did you think of the new Open? I created it in about 10 minutes with this new software I got. I'm learning how to use it. Your opinion? Was it?
I liked it. I thought it sounded pretty good, man.
Yeah, I tried to incorporate the original theme song from Jim Galicchio and keep that involved. And I want to add some new stuff to it and fix it up and clean it up a little bit. But I want to come up with some professional things on the show, Jeff. So
it sounds good.
All right, so
the best you can. I know that, and it shows a lot. Believe me.
Yeah, so we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got, I'm sure, Sir Jeff's got some things, and of course, we got the big Jeff birthday show coming up in a couple weeks, and of course, on the 28th, B. Brian Blair joins Jeff and I for our 8th anniversary, 550th episode. And Jeff, by the way, I don't know if you're working Sunday. It's going to be Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to everybody out there. But Jeff, even more so, banks are closing. Big news! It's Juneteenth this Sunday, Jeff. Will you be celebrating Juneteenth?
No, I will never celebrate Juneteenth.
But Jeff, it's such a big holiday. I'm sure Joe Biden will be on vacation and he'll be genuflecting or kneeling someplace celebrating Juneteenth.
Listen, give me the time and a half and the day off to take another day. I'll work it like every other holiday. I don't really give a fuck. What I do find sad.
Go ahead.
Is that I went into the bank today and I saw a sign on the door that the bank will be closed to celebrate Juneteenth.
Yes, I brought it up because my wife got a text from Santander Bank saying we are closed on Sunday, and she said I thought it was going to be for Father's Day, and it's for Juneteenth. And I said this fucking world is doomed. We are doomed.
No, see that's another thing too. Real quick, you say about the world is doomed. It is.
Yeah.
It is so bad at this point in time. There is no turn. There's no coming back.
I would agree with you. No, I agree with you. I won't even argue it. You're 100% right.
Back, man. It is so far gone that I don't even know what you would do at this point in time to stop it. Never mind get it back. Yeah. Just stop it. It's virtually impossible.
I agree. Well, listen, Hard Rock and Sports Jeff and Tom, play a quick commercial from our friends over at the Hemp Wizard Beer Care Co. Again, Mike and Joe, good buddies of the show. And if you guys are going to go out there and you're going to buy a little something for the beard for fathers, it's a great gift.
Right here. This is the stuff you got to get right here. Cushman's.
There you go. And they got a full line of beard care products and skin lotions. So make sure you head out to the Beard Care Co. website and let them know that Hard Rock and Sports sent you. Let's play a little quick something from those guys.
Get ready. Get ready. Get ready.
That's a little something from Mike and the Hemp Wizard Beer Care Co. Again, if you're looking for great Father's Day gifts, even for gifts for the ladies in your life, they got the skin lotions. Make sure you go out to the boys from Hemp Wizard Beard Care Co. Great guys, funny posts. Mike puts up some funny posts. So make sure you follow those guys.
I can't hear you. Your volume went down.
Did it really? How about that? Better?
No, not really.
Hold on.
Now try it.
How about that, Jeffy?
A little bit better.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything, so my mic is up and good. I'm showing full power here.
All right,
let's see how it goes. And again, thanks for the guys blood from Black Sasquatch, Ted, Bub, and the boys for the opening of the show. So thanks a lot, Jeff. I'm going to play you a video right now. Let me share it on here. And let's stop the share there. Let's share this. Let's get the watch later. I'm going to play you Jack Del Rio's comments, Jeff.
Okay.
And then we can have a conversation if you don't mind afterwards. How's
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
All right, let's bring it up.
Switch to Liberty Mutual and save $652.
Hello.
Excuse me.
Hold on a second. Hold on. What the hell's going on here? That.
Is your house a sauna in summer? Has your AC lost its cool? Then say
Defensive coordinator Jack
There you
Del
go.
Rio is really ruffling some feathers and doubling down on his tweet, comparing the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol to Black Lives Matter protests. He talked about it earlier today, and our sports director Darren Haynes was there. And it seems like this team just loves being in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, they're getting more negative attention, Zoe, and this time after one of their coaches compared the January 6th attack on the Capitol to the 2020 George Floyd protests. Washington Commanders defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio doubled down on his recent tweets about why the George Floyd protests in 2020 aren't getting the same attention as the upcoming congressional hearings on the January 6th insurrection.
Businesses are being burned down. No problem. And then we have a dust up at the Capitol. Well, there's nothing burned down. And we're not going to talk about, we're going to make that a major deal.
Well, first, let's get the facts straight. At least 7 people died as a result of the insurrection at the Capitol, and more than 140 police officers were hurt. Countless people on Capitol Hill were threatened.
I express myself as an American. We have that ability. I've said what I want to say, and every now and then there's some people that get offended by it.
Some of the people who may disagree are the players Jack Del Rio coaches. Most of them are African American. When I asked Del Rio what kind of effect that may have on his players, there were no concerns.
Are you concerned that some of those players are a little bit concerned about what your
No,
personal opinion?
no, I'm not.
Hours after facing the cameras, Del Rio tweeted, referencing the attack on the Capitol as a dust-up was, quote, irresponsible and negligent. And I stand by my comments condemning violence in communities across the country.
So, you want to play?
So, Jeff, I switched over by accident to the next video, but we won't be doing that right now. So, Jeff, I mean, listen, I don't condone the what happened at the Capitol that day. But first off, I believe it's a lie that 7 people did not die that day. Only 1 woman was killed by the police who was unarmed. I don't think it's something that should have happened. But my problem is same as Jack Del Rio's. If we're going to go ahead and figure out who organized and who did what at the January 6th, I'm all for it. And if somebody broke the law, they should go to jail. But why aren't we investigating who burned down our cities in New York, in Wisconsin, in Portland? Who brought the bricks and piled them up so the people can grab them and throw them at the cops? Hundreds of cops who were hurt. Countless people, a couple people were killed in these riots. Countless businesses were looted, but yet he's not allowed to have his opinion. Jeff, I'd love to know, what should Jack Del Rio been fined for his comments?
I don't think he should have been fined for his comments. I mean, listen, first of all, it's 2 different things. One's political, one's racial. All right, so
both politics. If you look at it, both were politics.
Yeah. But I mean, the main part of each one is political, one is racial.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Comparing them just because of that is an issue with a lot of people. But I wouldn't have compared. I myself would not have made that comparison. As far as the riots go, we all know that the riots, whatever the story is with the riots, we'll never get the real story out of it.
Yeah.
It was allowed to happen.
Sure.
Nobody condoned it. Nobody condemned it.
Correct.
And nobody tried to stop it. And these guys were just allowed to run amok and do what they wanted to do and burn and loot and fucking whatever it is that happened. The insurrection, listen, you may never get a straight answer from that, and it may all stand on where you stand and how you seeing it. Because some people feel as though that Mike Pence might or might not have done the right thing that day, and it might have pissed off other people. And it's a whole bunch of things. You know what I think? I think that everyone that was involved in that, in the insurrection, should just, like you said, you were involved. If you're found involved, bang, you get put in jail for try and overthrow the government or something. That's all. Treason, whatever, because that's what it was all about. Let's face it. And we're never going to be told the truth on it. That's the sad part too.
No, from either side.
No, you're never going to get the truth. Never going to get the truth.
Listen, I don't condone what they did. I think the protest was right. Go outside, yell and scream, throw some bottles if you feel like it at the building. I'm all for it. I don't think walking through the building, but everybody going in the building was basically a photo op. Cops opened the door. There's countless witnesses and testimony from even FBI that said most of the cops just opened the door to let people in. Do I think it was right? No, I don't think it was right. I don't think they should have done it. But nobody got killed because of it. Nobody burned down the Capitol. Nobody tried to kidnap Mike Pence or Nancy Pelosi. And again, if somebody planned it and it wasn't just a thing that happened out of nowhere, if somebody actually planned that, they should go to jail. And yes, I agree with you. They should go to jail for treason or whatever you can get them for.
The worst part of all of that is simply this, okay? Mm-hmm. America always looks like the better country, no matter what's going on, no matter what we're doing, who we're with, whatever. It always looks like the better country all the time, except now. Now we just look like some cheap-ass fucking bullshit third world fucking country that fights amongst themselves because I didn't get enough votes to win. So now there's going to be fucking problems and there's going to be bullshit, just like in these fucking third world countries where things are rigged and fixed and all this other bullshit. We're no better than they are right now at this point in time, and it's a shame. This is a proud country, and it should always be just that. Should be first class all the time. And there's people that are doing whatever they can to drag it through the mud and make it look bad and make it seem like it's the worst place to live in. It's so sad. It's fucking sad, man.
I agree, but I might always point to people who have a problem with it, and rightfully so. That should not have happened the way it happened. What I say is, if you're upset about that, where were you when they were burning down the cities because some guy got killed by the cops? And listen, the cops went to jail. It wasn't like the cops got off, and it was just an excuse for people to go out and burn down things and steal and throw things at the cops and spit at the cops. And to me, if you're not investigating both, then we're hypocrites. But this is about Jack Del Rio, and regardless of whether Jack Del Rio thinks that it was a dust-up or not, Ron Rivera has no right to tell him he can't have an opinion on it. And to me, that's the tragedy of this conversation is, whether he is right or wrong, he's entitled to his opinion. And to fine him $100,000, regardless where the money went, regardless of what charity the money went to, the fact that you say that Jack Del Rio does not deserve to have his opinion, right or wrong, to me, smells of being in a fascist, communist country. And I tell you, Jeff, I will go out of my way every week to make sure I root for, pray against, light candles against the Washington communists, and I can't wait for the day that Ron Rivera is fired.
Oh, you know what, Tom? Right now, he has a job.
Yep.
And every day he wakes up, that entire staff has a job. And it is bullshit. But, once again, it's a perfect example of, you could say whatever you want. Just make sure that you say what I want you to say. Because if you don't, you're wrong. And that's it.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect situation of it. This guy opens his mouth, speaks his mind, and basically gets punished for doing so. Now, I wonder if he had flipped the coin around, then it would have been completely different.
Oh, if he had come out against it, 100%. 100%, he would have got a pat on the back. They might have given him a raise, Jeff.
Yeah.
They might have given him a raise.
It is fucking sad, man. Wow.
Yeah. And that's the hard part. Again, I tease about it every week with people at work and whatever about whether they vote for Biden and stuff, and whether you're a Democrat or liberals or whatever. And you should be whoever you want. I don't have a problem with it. I don't agree with people, but I certainly believe the fact that everybody's entitled to their. And again, it could be the same opinion that you have. where you think it's all bullshit and there's nothing good about it. And I don't agree with it, but I love the fact that you have that opinion because that's what this country is all about. But this country is and the reason why I never vote for a Democrat ever again in my entire life is because if you don't agree with them, you're basically a traitor and you deserve to be put in jail or at the very least locked in a box and never heard from again.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the Dems and the libs. Listen, there's people on the far right that are fucking lunatics too. Don't get me wrong.
Well, think about what you just said. Far right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like there's people on the far left that's insane too.
Correct.
Listen, whether you want to admit it or not, that's up to you. It's your business. It's fine. Like you just said, the answer lies somewhere in the middle.
Oh, 100%.
You can't be far right. You can't be far left.
Nope.
You have to see the point of the other person that's standing across from you, because there may be something in his point that's missing from your point that may make everything work better. Okay. These people right now are so hell bent on retribution, on setting the record straight and everything else, because now it's vendetta time.
Yes.
All right. So listen, in November, we have an election at the midway point. Let's see what happens with this. All right. If it goes the way of the Republicans getting there, then the Democrats will bitch. Sure. If the Democrats win, then the Republicans are going to say that everything was fixed and they're going to cry about it, not do anything about it. The election was 2 years ago. Yep. People are still crying that it was fixed, but yet they have not done nothing to overturn it. So what's the point? He's got another 2 years to go. Vote him out.
That's it.
That's
I
all.
agree with you on that.
That's all, because you're spending all of this time bitching, moaning, and crying, and nothing's getting changed anyway.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think there was. I don't know if the election was fixed. I do think there was funny stuff that happened, but Joe Biden won, and it's over for me, and it's over and done with, and I'm done with it. And I put it away that night. Once he was elected, that's it. It's over with, and I'm with you. Just go out and vote him out, and all the good stuff. I just. Like I said, I could never vote for Democrat ever again based on the things you listen to every day. I mean, all the stuff that's going on with the Supreme Court, and they won't give them extra protection. They're threatening to kill these guys because they want to overturn Roe v. Wade. That's all it's all lunacy.
Let me tell you something about abortion.
Okay.
Honestly, what do you give a fuck if somebody wants to get an abortion? The people that want to get abortions are probably people that you don't want breeding in the first place. That's one thing. Okay. Second of all, if they get abortions, if they don't get abortions, who's going to be paying for these fucking babies? Okay. Our tax money will be going to help these people with these babies. What do we care if they get them yanked out? It's one less person that we got to pay for. Okay. Here's something else to think about that nobody else is even saying. Okay. Let's say this gets overturned.
Yep.
What's the next thing that's going to get overturned? Okay. Because if you set a precedent and you let things get overturned, then they're going to start overturning other things. Maybe women will lose the right to vote. Maybe colored or blacks will lose the rights for certain things. Everything is changing as it is. The last thing you need is for things from getting overturned and everything else. It's bullshit. It's the law. Just leave it as is.
Well, it's here's the thing. First off, all what's happening right now is the Supreme Court is saying that the federal government should have no right to determine whether abortion is legal or not. That's all they're saying. So what they're saying is, and rightfully so, and this is the way it should be, that the states. So Jeff, you live in New York City. Okay, you live in New York State. New York State should have a vote every 4 years, whatever it is, and say, hey, should that law, should abortion be allowed in New York? And the people of New York would vote. And if enough people voted for it, that's the law. If they voted against it, what they're saying is the federal government should have no hand in this. And they're saying that there's no, there's not in the Bill of Rights. There's no such thing. Now, personally, I don't believe in abortion, but I also don't believe I should tell somebody else what to do with their body. That's not my business. I don't believe in it, but I also believe that there should be some sort of rules to what point you can and cannot. Virginia tried to pass a law that you can get an abortion basically right up to the point of birth, or give birth and let the baby die for the hell of it. I don't agree with it. Now, again,
no, that's something that would be murder if the baby's alive.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm telling you that's what Virginia, the governor of Virginia, tried to pass the law that basically said when the baby's born, if you don't want it, they basically have to put it in a room, leave it there, and let it die. Healthy baby.
I'd have to read that one. I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you flat out. Go ahead and read it. You could absolutely. It's 100% fact. It didn't pass, but that's what they tried to pass. So, me personally, I would vote no, but I would say if you wanted to have it, there should be a time limit. At what point is the baby a person and has the right to live? Let me ask you this question. Let's say you're a woman and you're 2 months pregnant, and I stab you in the stomach and kill the baby. Am I going to jail for murder?
Should, yeah.
Okay. Why can the woman decide that baby is not a person and I'm going to murder her at 2 months?
Because it's a fine line, Tom.
That's the point, Jeff. Like at some point, when does the baby become a baby?
Now let me bring you a scenario because I know someone that works in this field.
Sure.
Okay. When a parent goes and gets ultrasound done, and in the early months of the pregnancy, everything looks okay, everything's great, no problems, and then when it gets past the abortion time,
right?
Okay, where the agreed upon abortion, or however you want to put it, let's just say it's 16 weeks or whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Okay, but by week 22, 25, whatever it is, they find that this fetus is now incompatible with life.
Right.
Okay, because all of the organs are born outside, or the baby has no head, or there's no brain in the head, or the brain is outside the head.
Yeah, the baby's got no way to survive if it goes through birth. Got it.
Exactly. You're going to say that these people can't have this pregnancy aborted?
No, see, I agree with that. I'm 100. See, Jeff, I think in certain situations I can understand it. Now, again, me personally, I don't agree with it. But if I was, my wife and I we're going to have a baby, and there was something wrong with it, where if it did live, it would be a miserable existence, I'd have to consider it. And I don't think it should be banned and outlawed. All I'm saying is it shouldn't be used as birth control. It shouldn't be.
Totally agree.
So my point is, okay, you're pregnant. You find out you're 3 weeks pregnant. The baby hasn't even formed yet. It's still a blob. It's got a heartbeat, but it's a blob. And you want to get rid of it. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. But when the baby's 4 or 5 months in, and you say, it's too hard, I don't want to do it. That's a baby. Like, what point does the baby have a right to live? That's the question of the day. I don't know if there's an answer.
Nobody's ever going to come up with an answer for that everybody can accept.
Of course
because
not.
There was always going to be somebody that's going to say something. Now, while I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you, I totally agree with you, there are situations where things change.
Absolutely, 100%.
And, if you're going to take it away, that means that some little kid that right now, as we speak, is getting raped by a male relative or something, and now ends up getting pregnant at 12, 13 years old. That little kid, that baby herself, should not be forced to carry a baby that was conceived.
100%. What the Supreme Court's doing is not outlawing it. All they're saying is that each state should decide for itself whether they allow or disallow abortions.
Well, listen.
That's all this is doing right now. They're saying that the federal government should not and it's basically what happens now anyway. There are states that don't allow it, and there are states that allow it. The federal government's just saying, the Supreme Court saying, hey, the federal government should have no involvement in this. And they're right. The federal government does not tell you how to run your own election. They should not tell you whether you should abort or not abort a baby.
Yeah, listen, I hear you.
That's all like the
idea. I don't like the idea of it being used as birth control. I think it's fucked up.
I agree.
But once again, you have to also look at the flip side of this. I like to say that, that.
Yep.
Some of the people that are out there getting these abortions late term or whenever it is, who cares? All right. Are people that maybe should not be having babies in the first place.
100%.
And people that maybe you don't want them to have babies because in the long run, we are paying for it.
Jeff, I'm with you. I'm with you 110%. All I'm saying is I don't believe the federal government should be involved in it. Now, and again, even if the Supreme Court is wrong, I get it. But right now, you can't go, well, the Supreme Court's wrong, so I'm going to kill 2 of those guys. Doesn't work that way. I don't agree with Joe Biden's doing, but I'm certainly not going to put a bullet in his head. It's just that's the problem with the left, in my opinion. But listen, we've gotten way off of what we usually do. But the Jack Del Rio thing was my point was, listen, the guy, whether he's a football coach, school teacher, cop, pastor in a church, the guy's allowed his opinion. And if he thinks that that January 6th was a dust up and we should really be looking at the what happened during the riots, and to be honest with you, I agree with them. I think the riots were way worse. But again, if that's his opinion and my opinion, and you think it's wrong, yeah, we'll disagree and walk away. You can't fine the guy $100,000 and make him apologize. To me, that's wrong.
That's what happened, and that's
I got it. I got it. Yep, it's exactly what happened. I agree.
The insurrection, which was a couple hours of nail biting activity, so to speak, which sucked, but nonetheless, it was a couple hours on one day as opposed to the riots, which took hold of an entire summer.
Yeah. And Jeff, how many people
got billions of dollars in damage?
Yeah, and you don't think we're paying for that in insurance right now? Don't you think we're paying for that with our taxes to fix all these things? Of course we are. Yeah. But again, and I'll tell you, let's take all of that out. Let's say the insurance company got what they deserved. Do you know they were delivering pallets of bricks to these things so that somebody would have a brick to throw at the cops? At what point do we go, hey, let's at least go after the people who threw the bricks at the cops and find out who brought the bricks? They were putting it on social media. They knew exactly where it was happening. They knew what was happening, and they let it happen. And listen, I get it. But to me, if you're not going to take that seriously, where for an entire summer, our whole country was held hostage with protests, parades, riots, looting. Come on, man. Sorry.
And then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Correct. Yeah.
Just stopped. Mike, how are you today?
What's up, Michael?
It's all fucked up. It really is. It's just like I said, Tom. There's no sign of it stopping. There's no sign of it slowing down.
Nope.
And nobody seems to give a shit about it. And they're not going to do anything to change it. It's just going to be allowed to just fester and change and blow up. Everything is just going to get, one day they're going to look back and they're going to say, wow, we shouldn't have done that.
Correct.
We shouldn't have done this. And sooner or later, it'll be too late by the time they realize it. And that's the point that sucks, man. That's the point that sucks.
Yeah, and listen, right now we're paying for guys. Sometime by the end of the summer, you're going to look up, and $6 for gas is where it's going to be. And listen, most of us don't have a choice. I go to work every day. I'm going to pay for it, whether I pay for a ticket on the bus or take a train or drive my car. So luckily for me,
work now.
Huh?
How are you getting to work?
I drive.
What are you paying a week in gas?
I would tell you, I would say I'm better than $150 a week.
How much were you spending the last time? Because I know your truck isn't that big.
Yeah, no, I would say obviously it's close to double. So I was probably doing $30, $35 to fill my tank. I'm doing $60 or better now to fill it. And I would say I fill it probably maybe every 2 days, so I'll fill it twice, sometimes 3 times a week. So right now, yeah, it's at least $50 a pop when I go to fill. Now, I'm lucky. My company reimburses me a lot of that. So it doesn't kill me, but
Well, it doesn't kill you now, but I mean, how many miles you got on the truck now? It's got to be over 50,000 by now.
50. I'm at 96,000 miles.
Jesus fucking Christ. Wow.
Now, the good news is my company will be giving me a fairly brand new Chevy Silverado pickup in about a week. So I will be retiring the Chevy Equinox and I'll be driving the Chevy Silverado.
And they're going to give you a bigger truck.
They're giving me a bigger truck. That is correct.
Nice. I don't know who's running that place over there, but
they wanted to give me a Ford F-350, which I thought was insane. That's probably $200 to fill that tank.
Oh my God.
I refuse to take it. I
Just-
refuse to take it. Yeah, I told us you guys are out of your mind. They're like, don't worry about it. I'm like, I do not. It's just too big to be driving around New York City in an F-350.
Yeah, really. I mean, what the fuck, man? I wouldn't even want to think about that.
I said, it's a beautiful truck, great, and fully loaded. You couldn't ask. I think it has injection seats. If I was getting an accident, I could pull the handle in and be shot out the top. But,
We have F-150s, maybe a couple F-250s, but even that, I don't think we even have any 250s. Ford trucks suck, man. I am sorry. I don't care what anybody says. I hate them.
Yeah, again, I never really. My boss, it was one of my old boss's trucks before he left, and he left the truck behind, and they wanted to have me drive it, and I just thought it was too big. Nice truck. I never really drove it other than around the block to park it, move it around a little bit. So I wasn't a big fan of. It's just too big. But the Chevy Silverado was nice, huh?
Is it a fucking dually?
Yeah, the whole bit. Yeah,
it is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, just.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I believe it's being sold or traded in for a new vehicle. But I will be driving a fairly new 12,000 miles Chevy Silverado in about a week. So
Jeez. Oh, that's not bad.
No, again, I'm happy to certainly do it. So
damn, if this is the one that we're going to be getting, man, this thing is a monster.
The 350.
Yeah,
that was
maybe the biggest fucking truck I've ever seen.
It was. I'm telling you, it was up there. It was just. It has every bell and whistle you can want in it, and it was just too big to be driving around. I told them, guys, I just refuse to drive it.
Jesus Christ.
You can't park it anywhere in the city. You just, you need a captain's license to drive that thing.
Yeah,
So-
really. They
so-
land planes on it.
Yeah, exactly right. I'd have to park it at the airport. So, but all good on this end. Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom having a little bit of a social discussion tonight. Now we're gonna kick it into the music and sports world and have some fun for the rest of for whatever time we got left, about an hour and change. So thanks for parking it here. And again, guys, hope you guys have a great weekend this weekend, Father's Day weekend. I know Jeff's working Saturday and Sunday. Will you be having any festivities? You going out to see the parents? What do you got? By the way, I want to wish my mom a happy birthday. It's my mom's birthday is Sunday, and of course, it's also Father's Day, so I'll be hanging with the parents.
No, I'm working Saturday. I don't get out till 3:30, and with
Okay.
short traffic and everything else, I'm not about to start heading to the island at 3:30 because that's fucking nuts.
Well, I tell you, Saturday's an easy day to travel. It's Saturday morning is terrible, and Sunday afternoons are horrendous. I'll tell you from experience. So be careful if you decide to. But Sunday, Jeff will be staying home and spending his day celebrating Juneteenth. So good for him.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my hair curled.
So look forward to that. Jeff, any gigs coming up? We got anything new in the?
I can't. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can't find people to play with. I put out ads. I don't know what's going on. A band that I'm about to blow up, depending on their response to me. I'm gonna expose shit.
Really?
Oh yeah,
There's a certain band that I saw the band played a couple shows, 3 shows last weekend.
Yeah, 4.
4? I saw
Yeah.
3. I almost went to one and I said I can't go. I'm protesting them right now.
Yeah, no. Listen, you tell people that you're in, and then you're not, and then whatever. And then you just ask a question.
It is their reputation, though, Jeff. You know it for a fact.
I know that. I
You
know
know it
that.
for a fact.
I know.
You know it for a fact. So
And then there's one guy that's holding up everybody. I don't want to say his name, but
don't say his name. I know who you're talking about.
yeah, it's fucking aggravating, man.
I got you. Just for the record, I did pick up my guitar for the first time in 5 months. Played a little last weekend. Got to break out a few songs. Had a lot of fun. It gave me recharged the batteries. I got the Marshall cranked up a little bit. Nobody was home and played a few tunes. Just like a couple, working on some new stuff and having some fun. So, but good. I hope it works out. I know that you're a little frustrated, and we'll see. Hopefully you'll hook up with some guys who are serious and want to do the right thing. So we'll hope for that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I got one guy. I threw an ad up on one of the sites. So I said, bass player looking to do metal, hard rock, classic rock, grunge, alternative, So what happens? I get hit up by some guy. The band ranges in age from 55 to 70.
Oof.
Yeah, oldies, and I'm like, no, I didn't say oldies. I'm sorry, I have nothing against oldies,
Yeah.
but no, it's not for me. Then
That's how I met Giuseppe, by the way.
oldies.
No, putting ads out. So
Well, it actually worked. Yeah, I got to play a few shows with him.
that's true.
Then there was another guy off the same ad.
Mhm.
He said something that I didn't even fucking answer him, because one time when I was in Talking Trash and the singer was leaving, he was throwing his hat in the ring to get into Talking Trash. Meanwhile, like, we never even said that we were looking for somebody or anything at this point in time.
Right.
And he was forcing his way in the door, that it got to the point where it's like, I don't even like to say the guy's name. So I didn't even acknowledge him. And and every once in a while he sends me an inbox, and whatever, I just totally ignore him. Like, he's blocked. I just totally ignore him. And then there was another guy that answered, and his band sucks.
Uh-huh.
It's so bad that they suck. Like, I couldn't. And remember,
I was just thinking of him just 2 seconds ago. Yes.
he was the singer.
Come on.
Yeah.
He's still around, that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Chicken,
Yeah.
what do we call him? Chicken cutlet?
Yeah. I actually seen him a couple times playing, and here and there he'd be around.
Uh-huh.
And he'd be like, "Oh wow, man! I don't know what happened. I know what happened. You sucked." So, it was bad. You were bad. You were bad.
Oh man, that guy was terrible. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Scary.
Mhm.
Wow. Well, listen, hopefully it works out for you and you get to do your thing and all that good stuff. I'm hoping for you because I know how much it means to you. And guys, I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's like I said, it's Father's Day this Sunday. My mother's birthday is Sunday as well. And actually, we'll be having a little shindig for my son and his engagement this Saturday at my mom's house. Just a couple friends, just a couple family over. So got a lot of weddings in my near future. So I hope everybody has a good weekend. And again, remember Sunday Audible, 9:00 this Sunday morning. We'll be chatting football for about an hour this Sunday, John, and maybe Jeff and myself. So make sure you check out the SundayAudible.com. And if you're looking to buy some NFL gear, of course, go to the SundayAudible.com and you can buy your stuff and we'll get some credit and you'll save some money using our discount code. So make sure you check out SundayAudible.com for all your NFL needs. And, of course, the SundayAudible.com website for all the information coming up. And, of course, hang in there. We got some more stuff to talk about tonight. Jeff, I know you didn't watch the Rangers, but there was a great series. They went down 4-2, and it was a lot of fun. Other than one game, the Rangers played their asses off and probably dominated the series, but they just didn't have enough to beat what might be a Hall of Fame team.
Yeah. Listen, I seen some articles in the paper, and they're all like, well, maybe next year, this is what the Rangers got to do. Listen, it's hockey. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make it.
Can't blow it. You're right. Yep.
You're not talking.
You're not guaranteed to get back there again.
No, definitely fucking not, man.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Ask the 1940 Rangers.
Ask the 94 Rangers. Ask the 94 Rangers.
Yeah, but you know what? At least the 94 Rangers, they had they never went back to the Cup as a team.
No.
They had some success in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
They also changed that team around so quick that the 94 Rangers, that by 96, 97, they were done. They were not the same team.
Oh, no, they were done by
Who
that point.
retired, who got traded, went to
Messier was gone after 97. He was in Colorado. He left as a free agent.
went to Vancouver.
Was it Vancouver? I thought it was okay.
Vancouver Canucks, man.
Okay, so it's not guaranteed. There's a good team. They got if they keep they have some cap issues, so keeping it together is going to be a little tough. But they got a great goaltender. This kid was just just stood on his ear. Played a great series, and again they played really well. Their big lines played okay. There were times they disappeared, but they it all changed. Jeff, it was 2-0 Rangers. They were up 2-0. In Game 3, they were winning 2-0 in the second period. Momentum was all theirs. And then they took a bad penalty and the Lightning scored a goal immediately. And from that point on, the Rangers weren't really outplayed. They weren't killed, but it turned into all. It just seemed like whenever there was a big goal needed, Tampa had it, and it kind of revived them. I thought if the Rangers had scored the third goal of that game, this series would have been over, and it would have been all Rangers. But it was. You know what? They really did a lot for hockey because the ratings were up. People were paying attention, especially in New York City. And at this point, the Yankees are great. The Mets are playing great ball. You got football around the corner. Hockey's usually a thing of the past, Jeff. And for a good 2 months, month and a half, hockey was relevant in New York City.
It was, and in this year, I just want to real quick just tell you. Usually, teams that win the President's Trophy, right? There's one or two teams that go over the 100-point mark for the season. Okay?
Yeah.
This year in hockey, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 teams that broke the 100-point mark.
Wow.
Plus another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other teams had 90 points, and 3 of those teams had 95 or more points heading into the season. So there has to be some kind of record.
I have to look that up. Wow, yeah.
Just real quick, win totals. Okay. 58, 54, 51, 51, 54, 52, 56, 53, 49, 50, 49. So, there were some teams that played this year.
Sure.
Even I know the Vegas, they didn't make the playoffs. They were eliminated with 94-point season, 43 wins. Vancouver Canucks eliminated 92 points. The Winnipeg Jets eliminated with 89 points. Okay, the New York Islanders eliminated with 84 points. That was really the notable. So, I mean, hockey was on a tremendous upswing this year.
Yeah.
It has to be some kind of record for teams with 100 points, man.
That sounds like a lot, Jeff, to me. To be honest with you, to have that many teams with 100 points sounds like a lot.
It is, bro. It is.
Well, it was a great year, and the Rangers have a bright future. But Jeff, you're right. Nothing's guaranteed. You get a couple penalties. You get a couple injuries next year. You bring in a free agent that doesn't work out, and the next thing you know, you're getting 80 points, and you're missing the playoffs, or you're knocked out in the first round. So you had a chance. They were down to the last 4 teams, and they had a chance 2-0 in a series to take commanding lead, and they just didn't do it. So. Listen, hopefully the Rangers have a bright future, but we all know nothing's guaranteed next year.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, good job of the Rangers. The Yankees, Jeff, 30 games over 500. I know you don't pay much attention to baseball, but the Yankees are playing great baseball. They're 46-16, 30 games over 500 at this point in the year, which is huge. Only team in baseball that doesn't have 20 losses. And I think they're let's see. Did he hit a home? Nope. So the Yankees right now, 4th inning, no score, trying to sweep Tampa Bay. They're up huge. They're having a historic season, and their best player, Aaron Judge, Jeff, has a chance. He's at 25 homers already. We're not even close to the midpoint of the season. There are already people talking about him hitting 62 homers. He's on pace for 63 homers. Let me ask you this question. And Roger Maris Jr. said that if he gets over 61 homers, he should be recognized as the home run king, even though Barry Bonds has 77. And then, we all know that McGuire and Sosa have over 61 homers. Jeff, if Aaron Judge hits it, should he be recognized as the home run king?
Tom, that's a hard question to answer. That's a hard question to answer. Me personally, I feel as though that it should, yeah.
Yeah, do you think it's up to the individual person, or do you think it's up to baseball?
Baseball's going to say it. First of all, it's Barry Bonds with 71, right? He didn't hit 77.
I thought he hit 77.
No, I believe it was 71.
I'm going to look that up. Go ahead. Keep going.
It's going to be Barry Bonds because they never denounced him in the first place. When Barry Bonds was playing, even though he was on steroids, there was never really a clear-cut rule that said he couldn't do steroids. So, even though he was enhancing himself, was he really doing anything against the rules.
Actually, we're both wrong. It's 73.
73? Really?
Yeah, it's 73. Nope, it's 73. In 2001, he had 73 home runs. That is his highest. It's 46, 37, 33, 42, 40, 37, 34, 49, 73, 46, 45, 45, 5, 26, and 28 in his last year. So 73, I guess, would be the record at this point.
Yeah, but you notice 40, what you say, 46, then 73, and then back down to 46?
Yep, 49, 73, 46, 45, 45. Yep.
Yeah, which is still incredible numbers over that span.
100%. Yeah, listen, if he didn't screw around, he's one of the best players of all time. He just tarnished himself.
Yeah, yes, he did, Tom. Yes, he did. He finished over 700 home runs, right?
He finished with, yes, he did. Definitely finished over 700. And for his career, where is it? Home run. Oh boy, I moved this category. He finished with 762 home runs for his career.
762 home runs.
Correct.
An amazing feat, if you think about it.
Oh, listen, no doubt. And if you took that down into the 30s for that year, he still probably has the record. Well, that's close. What's his name? Hank Aaron hit 755. So he beat Hank Aaron by 7 with steroids. And he played till 42 years old. So, listen, Barry Bonds was a great player. Was a Hall of Famer before all of that. I think it's tarnished. I would consider the next guy in this generation who hit 62 homers or 61 or better to be the home run king. But it's only for baseball. I think it would take a huge groundswell of the public to make baseball change it. And I think baseball would be really hard pressed to turn, because it would be admitting they allowed these cheaters to carry these records. Jeff, he did it in 2001. We're talking about 2022 here, and the record is still standing. So I think it would be almost impossible to ever get baseball to say that 73 homers is not the record.
Well, never mind that. Okay, baseball, I think, knows at this point in time. Well, speaking of baseball, where's your father? First of all,
yeah, I'm surprised myself. I don't know. He did not pop up tonight. I have no idea. I didn't talk to him today. Maybe he's tired. Maybe he forgot. It's not like him, but he didn't show up on the radio or on the thing. So I don't know.
All right. Well, anyway, because of the steroid scandal and players that were caught using steroids after the fact.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
At this point in time, if any player approached that number,
right,
they're going to be scrutinized, and I don't think that they would get the credit anyway. That you would have to talk about somebody that has a physique like you wouldn't believe, and maybe is the face of baseball, and is well liked by everyone, and I don't know.
You're talking about Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is a monster. He's defensible.
Aaron Judge is he may be all of that stuff, but come on, this guy farts, he's gonna hurt himself, and you know that.
Well, listen, I agree with you to a certain extent. Now he was fairly healthy all of last year, and so far this year, the guy's on a mission. I mean, the Yankees are the best team in baseball. He's the best player in baseball right now. Listen, we're all waiting for the shoe to drop. Oblique injury, torn pec. We're all waiting for it. Don't get me wrong, because that's what's happened over the years. But if the guy stayed healthy and he hit 65 home runs this year, it's going to be interesting conversations with people.
Yeah, but you know what? He's hurt himself so much that, let me ask you this. Do you want a one-trick pony coming in and breaking that record?
Well, what do you mean by a one-trick pony? I mean, the guy has had some really good numbers. His rookie year, he hit 50-something homers.
He never did it consistently, is what I should say. How's that?
Well, he hasn't been healthy to do it consistently, and you're 100% right. Now, let's say he hit 60-something homers this year. Let's say he did it. And then next year, he hit 50-something homers. And then the following year, he hit 40-something homers. Then, to me, is that legit at that point? Like, does he have to have a run of 3-4 years of decent numbers? What makes it legit?
I would think that he'd have to have some milestones in there too.
Okay.
He doesn't necessarily have to win a world. Look at Roger Maris. Roger Maris came out of nowhere, hit 61 home runs, pretty much the best season of his career.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, and set the major league record, which stood for what, almost 40 years.
Well, yeah, I would say it stood for 40 years exactly. Yeah, 2001. 1998 it broke when Maris when McGuire broke it. Yes, okay.
All right, so 38 years, 37 years, whatever it was.
Something like that, yeah.
40 years. Okay?
Yep.
He'd have to have some longevity with the record. He'd have to maybe get in the playoffs or show some stuff. He's been injured a lot in the beginning of his career. And now, even if he turns around and he sets the record and he hits 63, how about this? Let me give you some numbers.
Sure.
Let's say he goes 62, 48, 48, 58, 45, and then he starts to tail off a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, now he's like 36 years old. So go ahead.
Yeah. What's the first thing everybody's going to say? He was doing steroids. The guy went into his 20s, played baseball in his 20s, was getting hurt every year, missing large chunks of games. Now he's in his 30s, up to mid 30s, cut down on injuries. Guy's putting up power numbers like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, he's a big dude without a doubt, but he's not getting hurt. He's playing 155 to 162 games a year. He DHs, he plays the field, whatever. I think that if anything, I think he's in a bad situation. He may turn around and break the record one day, but there's still going to be that finger that's going to look like, did he? Or I don't know.
Well, again, I think it comes down. Don't forget, nowadays they do regular testing for steroids of all things. So I think he'd at least have the backup to say, "Hey, listen, they tested me. They tested us randomly. I got tested once a month. I never failed the test. I never had anybody say anything negative." Now, again, you're right. Somebody out there is going to go, maybe he had a little help. All of a sudden he stopped getting hurt. So yeah, Jeff, you know what? I won't argue it. My whole point though is if he hits 62 and there are no whispers, I'm going to consider Aaron Judge the home run king, because I don't, when it comes to McGuire and Sosa and Bonds, I don't consider them to be home run kings. I think Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer anyway. I thought he was a Hall of Famer before all of that bullshit. So
don't go on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's it.
Well, look at Mark McGuire.
Yeah.
Okay? He came up with Oakland. The guy was this tall, lanky, skinny fucking kid.
Yep, absolutely.
And all of a sudden, he like doubled in size.
Yeah.
Just Barry Bonds. Just like Sammy Sosa. And then him and Sammy Sosa, with the year of becoming butt brothers, each one of them was hitting a home run without the other. And then, in this little competition that they each had, the love they had for one another doing this. And it was good for baseball. It made the summer fun and everything else, but it was never acknowledged. Then the guy gets caught with a bat that was drilled out and corked and everything else. And he changed color like a fucking chameleon. There's a lot going on there,
there's a lot going on in that whole thing. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff happening there.
I could see if each one of them looked the same as when they first came up into baseball, and it'd be like, well, you know what? Neither one of them got bigger, and they just got a little bit older. But like look at Albert Pujols. Okay, there's somebody that I think that maybe his numbers could be looked at as one of the best all-time, all-around home run hitters. Nobody ever mentions him in that conversation. Ken Griffey Jr. over 600 home runs. Nobody ever mentions him in this situation either.
Yeah.
Why is
that? So the Yankees are down 1-0 to Tampa on the board with a home run by I can't see who it is. Francisco Mejia. So Yankees down 1-0, trying to sweep Tampa Bay. Listen, they keep winning series. It'd be great to sweep them, but we can't win them all. But 1-0 here, and I think the fifth inning, Yankees up. Pujols, Jeff, was a good player. I mean, I could give you his numbers. You want to hear his numbers?
Just do what is his RBIs and home runs career?
He's got 683 home runs.
683.
and 2,166 RBIs.
Okay. Now, numbers like that, and I know the guy's played for over 20 years. We got to be close.
22 years as of this year, yes.
22 years. And nobody's ever questioned whether he was on the spike or not.
I've never heard anything. I mean, his early numbers are ridiculous.
Keep going. I'll be right back. Keep going.
Sure. Okay, Hard Rock and Sports, Jeff and Tom. We're hanging out here talking a little baseball right now. Yankees on the screen. Top 5. Yankees down 1-0. Facing Tampa, 30 games over 500. The Yankees are, and cruising along this year. Listen, there's a lot of stuff could go wrong. Haven't gotten the major injury bug. Now, listen, Loizaga's been out. Chapman's been out. Thank God. You've had guys like Michael King and Clay Holmes step up. Stanton had a little short-term spell on the DL. But this Yankee team is a hell of a Yankee team, and there's nothing wrong with the Mets. And again, let's see what they come back with. But the Mets are going to get a little bit of a run. That Atlanta Brave team has shaved off, I think, 4 or 5 games, maybe 6 games in the last couple of weeks. They're only 4 games and change back from the Mets. So we got good baseball here for the summertime. I'm pumped. Yeah, that was a missile dig. But this Met team is different than in the past. I don't see them. Falling apart like they have in years past. I think they're playing decent defense. They're getting so pitching. The bullpen's been better than expected, even though they need some help there. But they hit the ball well, and they're playing good defense. So it's going to be a fun season in New York. We might even have a great October. Maybe we're going to get another Subway Series. That would be a lot of fun. The first one was great. So hopefully we'll continue to get great baseball out of the New York teams. And we're right around the corner from the NFL season kicking off. So stay around. We got plenty to talk about still. Got another 40 minutes or 45 minutes of sports talk right here. Jeff and I were talking a little Yankee baseball, talking about the home run titles. Again, I'll finish it up, Jeff. I don't consider Bonds, McGuire, and Sosa to be the home run kings. I don't. I think it's tainted because of what they did. I don't think baseball will ever physically come out and throw their records out or put an asterisk next to their records like they did to Roger Maris's.
No.
And so I think it'll take for somebody, whether it's Trout or Judge or Manny Machado or Fernando Tatis or somebody like that, they hit 74 homers to be the home run king because baseball. But I think there's a little bit of public opinion. And I think if one of these modern day players hits 62, 63, 64 home runs, I think the court of public opinion will be crowning them the home run champ.
Well, I brought up Pujols before I had to run for my life to the bathroom because I thought I got to set up a system with a funnel and a hose.
I think you're right.
Just sit right here and just let it go downstairs to the sink.
Gotcha.
That'd be pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
but,
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Pujols is hit. What was it? 693 home runs. You said
683.
683. Who else in the major leagues now is going to come close to 700? Is that person even in the major league system playing?
I don't know, Jeff. You know what? You would think these guys are such great shape. They play a lot of years. They hit some homers. I would think a guy like Trout would get there. Maybe some of these young guys. But you're right. I mean, Judge is too old. He won't get there. So I don't know. Good question.
We'd have to come up when you're about 21, 22 years old. Play for 15, 16 years solid.
Mm-hmm.
Crushing the ball, ripping the cover off of it. It's the only way that you're going to get to
think
change.
about it, Jeff. You'd have to average 30 homers a year for 20 years just to hit 600. Right? I mean, that's consistency. There are a lot of guys. I bet you if we go up and down, we won't find a ton of guys who are hitting 30 home runs every single year. Now, again, the Trouts, the Judges, Stanton, but those last couple guys are a little old. I don't think they're getting there. Base hit from Hicks. Yanks running around first base with one out in the bottom of fifth. It's an interesting. Like we talk about guys who's going to get 300 wins. I think those kind of numbers are been outdated. Most people don't care about wins and losses anymore, which is a shame.
Well, it's the whole point of playing the game, isn't it?
I agree with you, but I don't think that the wins and losses and homers, everybody's on OPS and WAR and all these other, exit velocities and arc angles and ridiculous things. To me, you go out there, you're hitting home runs, you're driving RBIs, you're winning games. That's what matters. That to me, that's what baseball's all about.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's a shame it is the way it is, but
absolutely.
It is the way it is. So
100%. 100%. Hey, Jeff, your boy Ozzy Osbourne, 73, had some pins adjusted in his neck and back, couldn't walk, and Ozzy's the surgery's over, and he's saying, I'm not going to retire. I'm going to keep going. What's the thought? Like, is there a point at some point somebody's got to go, Oz, sit down, man. Come on. I mean, I remember watching, I don't know if it was a bootleg tape that you had or something when we were kids. You had an Ozzy kind of a bootleg tape, and he sounded horrendous on it. I'm talking like 1985.
He's always sounded horrendous.
And 40-something years later, the guy's still out there doing this. Now he's got pins in his neck. He's got pins in his back. I mean, at some point, is it over?
It's been over. It's been over. So for whatever reason, they're not telling him. I don't think his solo stuff is that good.
Has it been? When was the last Ozzy solo album that you say was I don't even want to say great, really good?
Diary of a Madman.
You think? I mean, I'm going to say. I think that Bark at the Moon was a great album. I do. I think that was a really good. Was I'll say let's temper it. Let's say really good album.
Diary of a Madman.
You not a fan of any of the Zakk Wylde stuff? None of that stuff?
Really, no. I don't think Zakk Wylde's that good, man.
To be honest with you, I'm with you on it. There were some good songs that came out of that, but there wasn't one album that I went, I can listen to this whole album. I mean, I stopped buying. God, I'm trying to think of the last album. I bought a few of them after. I can't think of the last one I bought, but none of them were like, the first two albums, you can listen to the whole album front to back, either side, and you didn't want to shut it off. Bark at the Moon was not quite that much, but it was close. After that, though, it was just a major drop, and but he's still Ozzy, Jeff. He's still selling. People still go to the shows, but at some point, he just doesn't sound the way he did.
No, of course not. He can't sing like he once was able to. It's sad. The guy's 75 years old, 73 years old.
73,
It's not good.
Yeah, it's like our parents being out on stage. And listen, now we saw him, was that 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we saw Sabbath at the end?
Yeah, when they
2015?
2017.
Was it 17?
Oh, no, that's when they stopped. So it was 2016.
It was one. It was definitely in that time frame. And listen, he did a good job. I thought he was surprisingly energetic. He was probably the only one who was any sort of. I think the rest of them, their legs were taped to the floor.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my Ozzy collection in here, and it's. I gotta revamp it.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, "Road to Nowhere." It was a terrible song. Mr. Tinker Train was a song I really like. Not a great song, but I like the melody of it. After that, the last one with Post Malone. I mean, what was he thinking about? I can't think of the last Ozzy solo song that I went, oh, that's really good.
I hear you. And as far as the Post Malone stuff, he was doing that just so that he could be relevant, and try to get in today's crowd. That's all that was about. Yeah,
Ozzy says he's going to keep doing it until he can't do it, and he's got Parkinson's. I saw him only one time. I don't know if you've seen him. I think you have.
No, I never saw. I only seen him with Black Sabbath. I never seen his solo.
Okay, I saw him solo in 1999. He did a show he was part of the K-Rock Dysfunctional Family Picnic. And I saw a whole bunch of bands that day. Limp Bizkit, Creed, trying to think, a whole bunch of bands. STP, which I became a big fan of that day. And I thought he did a nice job. Now you're talking 23 years ago, so he's in his 50s at that point, or just about 50. And he just didn't sound great. He just didn't sound great. And I'm thinking now at 73, who's going? Is he still selling? Let me ask you a question. Is he still selling stadiums out?
I do not know, because he hasn't played since before the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sad to a certain extent. It just, you kind of want Ozzy to go, all right, I've had enough. I've done it all. There's nothing left for me to do. Thank you for everything. I would rather see them do one more Sabbath run or a couple Sabbath shows and end it that way than what I'm seeing now. That's just the way.
You're going to see that either, Tom.
No, I don't. I agree with you on that. I don't believe we're ever going to see that again, unfortunately.
They stuck to their word.
Yeah, and you know what? And I respect it because, not for nothing, we sit here and, we abuse the bands that, like Motley Crue, I have no respect for. I mean, they come out and they make this whole big thing. We're never going to do it with signing contracts. And then you find out, well, there's a loophole in the contract that if we wear green underwear on one day a month, we can get the band back together. It's like, to me, I get no respect for them.
No, they got no respect for themselves. Why should anybody else respect them?
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous shit. So, listen, I wish Ozzy a speedy recovery. I would tell you, Jeff, I want to check off the bucket list. There's a couple of bands I've never seen Priest live. I'd like to try to get to see Priest once. There's a few bands that I can actually say I never saw. I'm tempted to go see Def Leppard this summer because they were a band I liked growing up. The problem is after the first couple albums, they went so bubblegum that I just couldn't. It's not my thing, but I'd like to check them off the box. Any band out there that you want to check off the box too? Is there a band, oldie, young band, somebody who went, I wish I could see them just once and then I can be done with it?
I would like to have seen Alice in Chains in their heyday, or Soundgarden when Cornell was alive. But other than that, right now, maybe I'd go see Alice in Chains. Maybe, huge maybe. They'd preferably have to play by themselves, so I wouldn't have to wait for anybody else. But other than that, I've seen Maiden a couple times. I've seen Priest a couple times. Metallica a bunch of times. Never had the urge to see Megadeth or AC/DC.
Yeah, same here.
I never saw, oh man, who the fuck was it? Exodus live. Didn't want to. Queen, I never got to see live, but without Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that's just going to say, I'd love to see Queen, but it's no Freddie. It's just not the same to me.
Yeah, other than that, no, there's nobody left. I got to see Rush and Maiden and Metallica and Queensryche. I seen Def Leppard. They were all right live, but that, like you said, they were for a chick band.
Yeah, I'd say the one band I would have, the one band I wish I would have saw, I never did, was Rush. That's probably the only band I could actually say I'd like to. You're gonna laugh. I'd love to see REO Speedwagon, even though it's really just one guy left at this point in time. But I was a big fan growing up, so like their stuff. But really, Priest is probably, I'm thinking about it now, is the one band I would like to see one time. And at this point, like I would love to see AC/DC, but who's left? I mean, it's not the same. Now, if Brian Johnson's singing and Angus is there, it's a possible maybe. That might be the other band I would think about singing.
Even at them, I never had the urge to go see AC.
Yeah, me either.
Around, I just never did.
Yeah, me either. I think I got to see most of the bands, Queensryche, Maiden, Kiss, that were in my wheelhouse. I've seen a few other bands. I'm not the hugest concert goer. I've gotten to see Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Wonder. I've seen a bunch of those kind of bands. I saw Carlos Santana. I'm not a huge fan, but it was nice to see him in concert. Saw Elton John in concert. That was good. I should have went. It was tonight. I should have went to see Paul McCartney. That's probably the one guy I would like to see Paul McCartney live before he croaks or hangs it up, one or the other. He's 80 today.
He's 80? Is that how old he is? I thought he was in his 80s.
No, he's 80. Yeah.
You sure that's a definite?
I'm almost 100% positive. You'd have to check me out on that, though.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't have any urge. I wouldn't have any urge to see him either. His birthday he's 79. His birthday is the 18th.
Okay, so day after tomorrow, he'll be 80 years old.
Yeah,
It's, you know what it is, Jeff? It's Paul McCartney. It's not, I got a thrill running. I got to hear him sing and play. It's still Paul McCartney. I mean, just the fact that 80 years old, the guy's still out there playing concerts and, all that stuff. I'm curious to see it, but it's just Paul McCartney. I'd like to see it one time.
The music that he plays allows him to play and perform that music at 80 years old. But I'll be honest with you. You know what, dude? I mean, I've become a bigger Beatles fan than I have in the past.
Okay.
As I got older, I got into the Beatles a little bit more, but
right.
I'm not going to, maybe once or twice a year, I'm actively looking to put them on and listen to them for a little bit.
Right.
But the Beatles do nothing for me. Like, I can't sit there and say this is the greatest band in the world. I just know they're not. They're not the greatest band in the world.
I disagree with that. Like, and again, I'm not talking about musically. I'm not talking. I'm not going to sit there and debate the merits of the Beatles. I'll say they're the greatest band only because if you think about it, they haven't been around since 1969. They haven't played a live. They didn't play a live concert for 3 years before that, and yet today they reach more people. Their music's still relevant everywhere. That's why I think they're the greatest band of all time. Now, would I say that musically or theory wise they're the greatest? I don't know. That's to each their own. But to me, if you're going to list the top bands of all time, you'd have to start with them at number one because 50 years better than the last time they were even a band, and 50-something years since the last time they played a show together. These guys are still very relevant. More than relevant.
They do nothing for me.
No, Jeff, I get that part.
The Rolling Stones are still playing. There's people that are in other bands that are still playing that came from other bands. The Who still plays. I mean, even though there's only 2 members of the Who left, Eric Clapton still plays. He's from that era. Some of the guys from Crosby, Stills, and Nash aren't retired yet. They're still playing. They're from that era. Some of the guys from the fucking Grateful Dead.
I get it, but if you went to our kids' generation and said, "Tell me 2 people in the Who," they're gonna look at you cross-eyed. But if I said to them, give me 2 of the 4 Beatles," they're gonna name them. If you said to them, "Give me 4 songs," they can knock it down with a little help, probably. That's the only reason why I think they're the best band of all time. Now, again, I'm not going to argue the point with anybody because I'm not the biggest Beatle fan either. I like a lot of the songs. There are times I can listen to them a lot. There's sometimes I don't listen to them ever. But I think when you put the records together, yeah, of course, listen, the Rolling Stones are still doing it. I get it. But the band's not dead. Half the Beatles are gone. They haven't even been a band for 50 years. I mean, before just about by the time I was born, they were done.
Yeah, no, listen, I understand that and everything, but you know what? I'm sorry. They just don't do anything for me. I
get that. That I get. I'm not trying to convince you to like the Beatles, or I'm just saying is if you're ranking. Well, let's put it this way. If you had to put out there the best band of all time based on record sales, the music, everything, you put it on and you said, all right, taking your affinity for bands like Sabbath and Maiden and all of that, if you had to say, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of them, but they're the best band of all time because whatever, what band would you put out there?
Oh, Tom, honestly, it depends on which way you're looking at it, to be honest with you, because if you're looking at it by record sales, you could turn around and say Michael Jackson is one of the greatest.
Well, you got to put everything into it.
Well,
longevity, relevance,
Well, longevity,
records.
and the Beatles ain't even in the conversation with longevity.
Of course they are. They're still relevant today.
As they're relevant, yes, but as a band, they were not.
I agree, but I'm saying you got to put everything. I mean,
Their influence, that would be their influence, not their longevity.
And they're, but again, I'm saying is you got to put all of it. Like I could put the longevity in with the Rolling Stones because they're still playing today.
Now, for longevity, yeah, the Stones blow the fucking Beatles out of the water.
Correct. But if I add up all the categories, how does it weigh out? So I'm saying is the Beatles are still relevant. They're still influential. Their songs are still played constantly. People know who they are from, social media. I'm putting the whole thing to package. What I'm saying is when you take the whole package and it's everything and you add it all up, where does that turn for you? Again, I can't tell you you're wrong, Jeff. It's your opinion. I'm just saying when you weigh it all out and you say, hey, this is the best band of all time because of this reason, could you nail it down?
Well, like I said, Tom, it depends on how you're looking at it because there's certain bands that you could say, look at the band, what the fuck is it? Is it the Byrds? I think it's the Byrds.
Okay.
I'm not. I have to definitely look it up. But Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page and I believe Jeff Beck had something to do with the Byrds.
Okay.
So does that mean that the Byrds are the greatest bands of all time because they're three of the best British guitar players of all time have come out of that band? I don't know. It's hard to say. Van Halen and everything that Eddie Van Halen did. Guys like Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, Jimi Hendrix. Look what they did for the guitar players.
Mm-hmm.
Three different guitar virtuosos. You get some of these blues guys, Buddy Guy, Muddy Waters, Stevie Ray Vaughan. These are guys that they're relevant for years. Maybe not Stevie Ray Vaughan. I can't put him in the same category. Yeah. But some of these guys have been relevant since the 30s, way longer than the fucking Beatles. And their musical influences of a lot of different bands, a lot of different people. Does that mean that they're the best? Your point about depending on who you say, yeah, it's one thing. But for me personally, I can't name the Beatles as they probably wouldn't even be in the top 5 for me of all time.
Interesting.
And for me to say they're not in the top 5, I would really have to seriously think because I can't put bands like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Metallica in that list.
No.
Of all the heavy metal bands, I would say the one that I would give the nod to would be Black Sabbath for starting a genre of music. But I mean, you would have to look at bands overall like Led Zeppelin, Queen, Hendrix, the Beatles, the Who, the Stones. There's a lot of different bands that you would have to look at to make a top 5. The Beatles, they're not for me. They're not 100% for me. Do I like the Beatles? You know what I would love to do?
What?
To be honest with you, I would love to sit down in the backyard, and we're going to do it soon. You got the thing for the July 30th.
I did. I will be there for sure.
I would like if there was another day where me, you, and Paul sat in the backyard and just hung out and pounded down a few beers throughout the day and listen to some of this stuff. Now that to me would be cool and just talk music all day. Just let the radio play and just start talking music all day. That would be fucking great.
Absolutely.
So, to me, there would almost be a place and time before I could put them in a certain ranking. That's me personally.
Of course. Listen, everybody's got their different ways to do it, the ways to look at it. I get it. Believe me, 100%. So
let me ask you this. Out of the Beatles, okay, who was the best musician in the Beatles?
It's hard for me to answer that question. I would have to say McCartney.
Okay, I got to agree with you. And I was kind of shocked. I'm like, why isn't this guy saying Paul McCartney? But that's okay.
Yeah, I only hesitated for a second because I thought Harrison was a little underrated as a guitar player, but McCartney is, when you watch the documentary, the guy's playing drums, he's playing bass. Obviously, he's a great bass player, hell of a songwriter, and he's playing guitar. He's playing all these different instruments.
Well, that's my point. Okay. And that's why I was like, why didn't you say that in the first place?
I think quick.
To me, knowing that when he was with Wings, he played piano, bass, sang, wrote the music, and all this other stuff. Okay. But am I going to turn around and sit here if I was to name my 5 favorite bass players? Is McCartney going to get in the top 5? Definitely not. I know that Paul Gill would probably slap me in the back of the head for saying that.
100%. Paul would put him at top of his list. So it's subjective. I get that. Yeah.
But to me, he's not even, he's good. But Paul's going to turn around and tell you that, well, listen, he wrote these songs, he played on these songs, he sang over what he was playing. And this is all stuff to definitely, without a doubt, take into consideration. I just personally, just not for me.
No, again, these kind of things are very subjective. If you ask me who the greatest bass player I have ever seen was, I'd flip a coin between Geddy Lee and Steve Harris. I'm sure would immediately go to Geezer Butler first. Geezer would probably wind up 3 on my list.
I seen a lot of my bass playing heroes. I seen Rex Brown from Pantera. I seen Steve Harris play. I've seen Geddy Lee play. I've seen Geezer Butler play. I've seen Joey Vera from Armand Saint play. I've seen Dee Dee Verney from Overkill play. I never got to see Mike Starr play from Alice in Chains.
Right.
Who doesn't write the greatest of bass lines or didn't write the greatest of bass lines, but he's one of my favorite bass players. Mike Inez, who replaced him, didn't do much better than Mike Starr, but typical Alice in Chains bass lines. I love the band. I know that they're not the greatest of bands, but I love them.
And again, that's the beauty of it, Jeff. It's subjective. You can't tell me, I can't tell you. All we can do is debate and offer whatever. Because again, 90% of it is, how do you know who the best bass player is? It's subjective. You listen, you watch, and you go. To me, growing up, there was nothing better than Steve Harris and the fingers and the way he played. And then Geddy Lee was just extraordinary to me. The way he sang and the keyboards, and then he got the bass lines in there, very intricate lines. But then there were guys who were just solid bass players. Rudy Sardo, I always thought was a good bass player, very solid bass player. Was Rudy off the charts? No, absolutely not. But he was a solid guy.
He was so respected that he played with all of these different guys. And I recently got into an argument with somebody over Geddy Lee, and they were making points of why Geddy Lee is not that good. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, what is wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
He's not that good. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, that to me, that's either you dislike the theory of the music and all of that, or you're just being difficult, because you can't have been a fan of the genre of music and not think Geddy Lee's a good bass player or beyond good bass player.
Well, man, guys like Geddy Lee and Chris Squire, they're a lot alike. They play Rickenbackers. They have a very similar sound, but each one of them was important in the development of helping others. Jack Bruce from Cream was an unbelievable bass player. He influenced so many of these other guys. Like, you listen to Geezer Butler play, and I think, to me, Geezer Butler, I see a lot of Jack Bruce in Geezer Butler with the way that he plays.
Okay.
Steve Harris says he loves the Beatles. He's a Beatle fan. He loves Paul McCartney. He also loves Pete Wade from UFO.
Absolutely. Another good bass player. Very underrated bass player.
Yeah. And I mean, Pete Wade plays with a pick. Steve Harris don't play with a pick, and Steve Harris plays completely different than Pete Wade.
Correct. Well, you can be, Jeff, I think you can be a fan of the way somebody plays and have them influence you, yet play differently from that style that they play.
Yeah, to an extent.
To an
extent, because when you're starting to play, you're also going to emulate some of these people the way that they play. And I myself used to emulate or try to emulate Steve Harris. He didn't do it very well.
I think he did better than you expected. But when you're a fan of Geezer Butler, Geddy Lee and Steve Harris, Jeff, those are 3 great bass players, but 3 different styles of playing.
Very true.
So, if you take a little from each one of them, you're not going to come up with a style that's similar to any of them. It's going to be completely different.
Yeah, but, they all have the one thing in common that they're all moving around constantly. They're
Yes.
playing. They don't play a straight bass line. They're not like, Cliff Williams from AC/DC.
Right.
Yeah. They're moving all the time.
Yeah, listen, and those are the guys that I grew up liking. I tended to like bands that had bass players that were what I would call active. That just weren't sitting in the corner and slapping away, playing 2 notes or 3 notes at in a song. These were guys that were, playing bass lines that you could just listen to and it makes the song jump and gallop and whatever you want to call it. Geddy Lee to me was, he was just, he was singing through the bass. It was just amazing. And I always loved Steve Harris's energy and when he played bass and just the style. So, to me, that's why I gravitated to. But again, at the end of the day, it's all about, who you like and the style. And there's no right or wrong answer to any of that. But for me, again, I'll end it from my end of it. To me, the Beatles were the best band of all time because of the whole picture. You 4 iconic guys, haven't played in 100 years, and there's still kids today who are big Beatles fans and listening. Their music's still relevant today. So for me, it's hands down the Beatles. Wouldn't be my top 5 favorite bands of all time, but I consider them the best band of all time. That's just for me.
Well, listen, they're relevant today that people know them, but they definitely don't have the same musical influence that they had.
Oh, of course
50
not.
years ago, because there's nobody even fucking picking up a guitar now.
No, Jeff, I agree with that 100%. No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that end of it, sure.
And then due to the recent inflation and even before inflation, I have basses that I paid one price for before COVID really hit full swing. And then I know that there's the same bass that I bought that now is going as at least $100 more.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I did. I'm out of the music buying, the music equipment buying genre for a while now, and I've got a Flying V, which I had gotten from you and your wife for my 50th birthday, and of course got the Strat and the Gibson, but it's funny. I haven't checked prices to see what the inflation's done to that. So you're saying the inflation has gotten to the music market as well, huh?
Oh, yeah, certain aspects of it, yes.
Wow, interesting.
Certain aspects of it, yeah. I have a Lakeland bass, the purple one.
Right.
I think I paid, I think I want to say 11 and change.
Mm-hmm.
The last I saw it was up to like 1,400.
Wow.
Yeah. Music Man basses, I paid, what I pay? I think 15 for mine. Maybe a little less. And already that one is up to, I paid 15 for mine with the case. Now it's up to over $2,000. And I'm just like, wow, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, I would tell you, I would be hard pressed to think that I would ever buy another. As I stand there and look at 4 guitars plus an acoustic that's in a closet someplace and the Marshall, I think I'm completely out of the music equipment buying industry genre. But I'm thrilled at the things I have, and I can't imagine the people coming up now with the cost to buy new equipment. It's going to be crazy. That's sad to hear.
Yeah, well, listen, don't ever say never, because you just never know what's going to happen and what you may buy.
No. I got 5 now. Can't do any more. I don't need anything else. I'm happy. I just gave away the Line 6 to Paul's kids. Paul's youngest son wants to play and he needed an amp, so I donated my the Line 6. So donated the Line 6. I said, listen, here's what I said. If I ever decided to start playing again, and if I ever do, who knows, you never know what the future is. I got an amp. I can show up at a gig tomorrow and play. I got an amp, I got a guitar, I got a couple pedals, I'm ready to play. All I was doing was taking up space in my house.
I hear you, but I just can't get rid of anything.
No, I get it. Listen, I get it 100%. But for me, I had 3 amps in the room. I was stepping over, trying to get around. I said, it's time to donate. I got my money's worth out of all of them. I'm happy I bought them. I would have never bought the Marshall if my wife didn't buy it for my birthday. I was happy with the Black Star. I would have kept that forever. But once I got the Marshalls, no need to keep any more amps. Hard Rockin' Sports, Jeff and Tom chatting away tonight, as we always do. Make sure you stick around. We got a couple more minutes for tonight. Then, of course, we're back next Thursday. And then we're here on Saturday this week with the Sunday Audible. So make sure you tune in Saturday morning when John, possibly Jeff, and myself get together and talk some football this Saturday morning at 8. And check out SundayAudible.com for more information on that. And, of course, to all you dads out there, I hope you guys have a great Sunday. Watch a lot of baseball, have a couple of steaks, and enjoy Juneteenth, all of you out there, whoever decides to.
Not only do I have to enjoy Juneteenth, I got to fucking work it too.
That's terrible. Hey, Jeff, before we wrap it up, I do want to get your opinion. Aaron Donald was toying with retiring, decided not to retire, didn't get an extension, but got a raise. The Rams have doled out quite a bit of contracts to two guys. I believe Cooper Kupp got $100 and something million contract, and then Aaron Donald got a big raise. I don't want to get too deep into the Rams, but they're going to be hard pressed to fill out a roster this year with all the money they gave out. But Aaron Donald, do you consider Aaron Donald the best defensive player, or maybe the best player in football right now?
I would say one of the best defensive players. I don't think I would say one of the best players.
Okay.
Best defensive players. I think there's a lot of good players in the league right now. I think he's also a little old to be carrying around the best player title.
Okay.
So I'll say that much. And he's an interior defensive lineman, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, you are correct.
So, I mean, he better be pretty good to say that he's the best.
Yeah, and they gave him an additional $40 million on top of his contract over the next 3 years. So they've given him a lot of money to stay around and be the best player in their eyes. But they're hawking to me to say, where would I put Aaron Donald? And is he in my top 3 or 4? And he's not. And I thought about who is my top 3 defensive players of all time. And I don't know if you have it, you can come up with it. I'd like to tell you my top 3 defensive players of all time and see what you think of it. And then, of course, if you have your own. Huh?
None.
Oh, boy, here we go. So my number 3 defensive player of all time, Jeff, is Ronnie Lott. I think Ronnie Lott, well, I was not a fan of the guy. I thought he was the biggest dick in the world. Ronnie Lott was an all-pro at corner and both safeties positions. Dominated, was one of the best hitters I've ever seen. Even took his talents to the Jets and played well, and helped that team in their secondary. So I'm going to put Ronnie Lott as my number 3. Now, there were some other guys I could have put: Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert.
Ronnie Lott lost part of a finger while playing a game of football.
Correct. That is correct. Yes, Ronnie Lott is a very tough guy.
Kept playing.
That is correct.
Left part of him behind in a glove, I believe.
I believe you're correct. So Ronnie Lott, I have as my number 3. My number 2 guy is Reggie White. I thought Reggie White was just simply unblockable. Just one of those guys who, when he was out there, you knew what he was going to do, and it was hard pressed to stop him. And Reggie White was one of the few guys who was a big ticket free agent who not only jumped ship, got his money, but was even more successful and even better when he went to the Packers and won a Super Bowl with them. I was there for that. Covered his game that day myself. So I have Reggie White there. And, of course, you know I'm going to have Lawrence Taylor as my number 1 all-time defensive player of all time. The guy changed the game. Used to be, okay, my back blocks your linebacker who blitzes. Then it was the tackle. Then it was the guard. Then we were sliding 2 guys. And then they decided to make an entire different offense based on the H-back, who was designed to try and block Lawrence Taylor. So for me, it's easy. I think those are the 3 best guys I've ever seen play the game from the defensive standpoint. So you're talking the mid-'70s on. There were some other great players. Mike Singletary, of course, Jack Tatum, and what's his name? Lester Hayes, Mike Haynes. Lots of great defensive players. Michael Strahan, lots of great defensive players. But I'm going to put those 3 guys, Jeff, in the top of my Jets. And you know what? And I'd almost put Joe Klecko in that category. Almost. He played for the Jets.
Would you like to hear mine?
I would love to hear your top three. I do. I think you're hopefully it's a serious thing, but go ahead.
Okay. My number 3
Yep.
would be Mark Gastineau.
Oh, my God.
One of the greatest sack artists of all time.
Oh, my God. You're embarrassing yourself.
Number
You want to stop
2,
here? You're embarrassing yourself.
Excuse me. Number
sorry.
2,
Yeah.
Joe Klecko. Okay, for obvious reasons. Number 3 is a two-headed monster. Darrelle Revis and Mr. Antonio Cromartie.
Oh, my God.
Best shutdown duo of all time. Okay. There's the sound. Though. The 3, it has to be separated. The 3 greatest defensive players all came from New York. Great. I hear you more.
Fuck you, piece of shit.
Like you're trying to take a shit over there and you're blocked up.
Oh my God! I just wish you could be serious about this because it's the minute you mentioned Mark Gastineau, you've lost all credibility.
Come
on, we had multiple people listening. They're all gone. They all just ran after that comment.
Please see this, see that.
Yeah, I see it.
Get used to those colors. Get used to them. That's the future of football right here.
Yeah, future football. I got you.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now.
Did you see your offensive lineman? He ate the podium today.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, your number one team
is a team capable of hitting 10 wins.
Oh, my God.
Going to challenge for a playoff spot this year. They get into playoffs, just watch the fuck out, man. Everybody's going to overlook them, and they're going to come out.
I'm going to actually bring up their schedule because we're going to go over their schedule right now, and you're going to legitimately tell me, all right, hold on, New York.
I'll tell you what. Not only will hold on 1 second. Ooh, baby. Not only will I give you a legitimate answers, I'm going to give you scores too.
You're going to give me scores? Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Is this game 1? I don't think this is game 1. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. That's even better yet. Look at that right there.
Oh, my God. I'm trying. Let's see. For some reason.
If you're a Giants fan, you can't even type in New York Jets schedule.
I did, and as usual, it's as dumbfounded as the Jets themselves. All right, let's see. New York Jets schedule, official schedule. Let's see.
That fucking swamp gas that got to you.
Yeah, my brain's polluted it's melting. All right, so let's skip over the 3. Okay, regular season, Jeff. Okay, ready?
Yep, let's go, man. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. So at MetLife Stadium to open the season on 9/11. So let's hope they don't bomb there. No pun intended. The Jets will host the Baltimore Ravens.
Jets 21, Ravens 10.
Okay, when it was okay. Week 2, they travel out to Cleveland to play Jacoby Brissett and the Cleveland Browns.
Jets 28, Cleveland 14.
Okay. Jeff, week 3, back at home, facing the AFC champs from 2021, the Cincinnati Bengals. Jets and the Bengals at home.
Bengals 17, Jets 14.
Jeff, week 4, the Jets finish their trek through the AFC North, and they get the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Jets 35, Steelers 3.
Wow, John's going to be happy to hear that. Week 5, they get their arch nemesis, the Miami Dolphins, in MetLife Stadium. Jeff, what do you say?
Jets 24, Dolphins 7.
Jets will get on a plane and travel to historic Lambeau Field to face Aaron Rodgers and the revamped Green Bay Packers for a Week 6 tilt. Jeff, what do you say?
Green Bay 38, Jets 11.
Jeff, Week 7, the Jets are on the road again, flying to the Mile House City to play Frank Catalano's Denver Broncos at Empower Field. What do you say?
Jets 28, Broncos 21.
Oh, boy. The first battle of the season versus arch nemesis and the man who's had control over that division for 20 years. The Jets at home at MetLife Stadium face the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick.
Patriots 27, Jets 24.
Jeff, the following week, the Jets are again home 2 weeks in a row to division rivals, and the Buffalo Bills and their high-powered offense have come.
Bills 35, Jets 6.
Okay, Jets are getting their ass kicked. Jeff, the schedule doesn't get any easier after a bye week in Week 10. Week 11 shows the Jets up at Gillette Stadium facing Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots.
Jets 42, Patriots 3.
Wow. All right, after that, back home for the Jets to face a Week 12 tilt against the Chicago Bears. Jeff, how you see it?
Jets 24, Bears 6.
Jeff, Week 13 shows the Jets on the road to another AFC North tilt versus the Minnesota Vikings at US Bank Stadium.
Jets 38, Vikings 35.
Jeff, Week 14, December, with cold weather, the Jets are upstate New York, bundled up versus the Buffalo Bills.
Jets 28, Bills 7.
Boy, you fucking brain damaged. All right. Again, another trek through the AFC North and the up-and-coming hungry Detroit Lions for a Week 15 tilt in MetLife Stadium.
Jets 16, Lions zip.
Jeff, a couple weeks left of the season, and the Jets will be hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars on a Thursday night.
Jets 21, Jaguars 6.
Okay, 2 weeks left of the regular season, Jeff, and the Jets will be flying to Seattle for a tilt against possibly Baker Mayfield and the Seattle Seahawks.
Jets 42, Seahawks 14.
And to close out the regular season at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, the Jets and the Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins 28, the New York Jets 42.
Wow. So you have the Jets going 13-4 for the season.
There you go, man.
I think you have to kind of flip that around. That's what.
This is a team, man. This is a team that can win. You know why? When I was giving you those scores,
yeah,
never once did you say like, "Wow, no, wow, holy shit." You just wrote them down like,
because
like this guy's on to something.
No, he's fucking insane. I'm not even going to give it to do it. It's not even worth my fight. I mean, you have the Jets actually winning a game in Buffalo.
Yeah,
you have the Jets after losing to the Patriots at home, going to Gillette and winning at Gillette Stadium.
Because Salah is going to make adjustments.
What's going to happen when your number one pick offensive tackle shows up at 450 pounds and can't play?
First of all, he's never going to show up at 450 pounds, and if he does, he's going to the right side till next year's draft when they get a replacement for him.
If he is anything less than 400 pounds right now, I would be shocked.
Okay, whatever. It's okay.
Okay.
Whatever you think.
I'm just throwing it out.
Offensive lineman.
I got it.
No
but now, okay, so you have the Jets winning 13 games, which I don't see at all. I also don't necessarily believe that the Vegas has it right that the Jets are only going to win 5.5 games this year. I think that's completely off. I don't know what they're thinking. Now, it's all going to depend on two things. How well the offensive line plays. Just can George Fant, play left tackle if Mekhi Becton can't? And looking at him right now, I don't think he can. And it's all going to be about the development of Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have no doubts. You're comfortable. You think Zach Wilson's the man.
I think Zach Wilson's a team player.
Okay. That's it. That's all you got. Team player.
That's all I'm giving you, man.
I thought you were going to give me Zach Wilson's team player.
Yeah, that's all you need. Listen, now let's flip the coin over. The New York Giants don't even have a quarterback.
Fuck you, piece of shit.
That's okay. Once again, the New York Giants don't even have a quarterback for next year.
We have a quarterback this year.
Going into next year, they don't even know what they're going to do for quarterback. That's one thing.
Okay.
Going into this year, every single one of their receivers is wearing a red jersey right now.
Okay.
Okay, because they suck. They're injured. This is a team that has a lot of questions.
Okay.
And we're not worried, man. You just worry about you and yourself. And
my Giants will win 9 games this year.
Yeah, okay.
9 games.
Okay, whatever you say. What are you going to times what their normal win is by 3 to get to 9?
The Giants will win 9 games this year.
Right, okay. Whatever you say.
9 games. I'm not. I don't know if that's enough to win the division. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs.
No, Dallas will win that division. You must be insane.
The Giants will win 9 games. Now, where does that get them? I don't know. In a bad NFC, I think the Giants can make a playoff berth this year. Or any team winning 9 games, I think can make the playoffs this year. And I certainly think the Giants are capable. Saquon's back. The offensive line's fixed. The defense is purring.
The offensive line is fixed. You don't have a quarterback. You don't have receivers.
We have plenty of receivers. We have
the only thing that they have right about is Saquon Barkley is back.
He is.
Until he gets hurt, yeah, he's back.
Oh, he's back right now. He hasn't eaten himself out of the league yet, like your number 1 pick.
Please.
We are ready.
Please
the defense will be mauling people this year.
You're killing me.
And my man, Danny Dimes will be in the top 12 quarterbacks before the season's over.
The only way that Danny Dimes is going to be in the top 12 quarterbacks this year is as if they turn the list upside down. Okay?
Danny Dimes, top 12 quarterback.
He is going to suck.
Danny Dimes, top 12.
He's going to suck. He's going to suck.
You're going to come in here. We're going to be on the show. We're going to be week 9 or 10, and I'm going to put it up right on the screen and go, Jeff, where does my man Danny Dimes rank? And you're going to have to go, all right, he's playing great football. He's number 12. You're right. You're 100% right. Danny Dimes.
Number 12, even if he's number 12.
Yep.
Even if he's number 12.
Yep.
All he is the top of the middle tier of football players. And I can't believe this is.
That's where we start, Jeff. That's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
That's where it starts. And then next year, he's top 5.
Oh, my God.
Next year, he's top 5.
So he's going to be in his 6th year, and all of a sudden he's going to be a top 5 quarterback. Right?
100%. 100%. Wow. My man Brian Dable's here now. We got stability. Mike Kafka's calling plays. We got this. The offensive line's fixed. We got bookend Alabama number 1 offensive lineman. Bookends. Evan Neal on the right, Andrew Thomas on the left. It's a lock. It's a lock. I'll tell you this. At some point, I will predict the Giants win the NFC East this year. I will make that bold prediction.
Oh, my God.
And on July 28th, we're going to have the NFL training camp show, and I will make that prediction that night on our anniversary, on the big night when we're celebrating 550 shows and 8 years in the business. I will tell you the Giants will win 9 games or better and win their division. Not only make the playoffs, win their division. I'm not making a prediction yet. Are you done? Hard Rocket Sports, Jeff and Tom here on Thursday night. We're doing this all over again next week. And make sure you come on back when we I think we got a guest next week. I think we got one of Sam Bones' clients coming on next week. I forget. I got to take a look at the schedule. But either way, make sure you come back. We'll be talking about our Father's Days. Jeff's got to work this weekend. But there'll be the Yanks on a historic run. The Mets are playing great ball. And the Jets and the Giants are putting the equipment away for a couple of weeks before it all kicks off in the middle of July. And it's around the corner, Jeff. It seems like yesterday we were talking about without the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, this year when we talk about the Super Bowl, my friend, there's only going to be one team to make mention of it, and that is going to be the New York Jets.
On that note, folks, I want everybody to have a great night and a great weekend. I hope you guys have a blast on Father's Day. Make sure you give all the dads out there the love that they deserve, and make sure you get the big piece of chicken. You got to give dad the big piece of chicken on Father's Day. So make sure dads get the big piece of chicken, as Chris Rock would say. So, Jeff, I'll give you the final word before you shut it down for the night. You got
listen to Chris Rock. He got bitch slapped by Will Smith too.
He did get bitch slapped by Will Smith. I agree.
Don't forget that.
I would not. I'd forget that, Jeff.
But the last word.
Yeah. Oh my God.
See that?
The team known for the butt fumble. The team known for Mark Gastineau's embarrassment. That's what he's got to put out there to us. All right. So, again, guys, I want you to have a great night, a great weekend, a great week. Make sure you come back here Saturday morning. At least two of the three of us will be here.
I'm coming in for a fucking major win.
At least two of the three of us will be here for the Sunday Audible show Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So make sure you join, hopefully, all three of us for some fun. Check out SundayAudible.com. And, of course, make sure you come on back here next Thursday night when Jeff and I do this all over again for our 246th show, I think it is.
I thought we were the 250s.
No, not yet. We're July, I think, turns into the 250s. I think we're close. 246, 247. We're close. I haven't quite hit it yet. No, in fact, we're 6 shows off of it. So, yeah, we're 250, 550, I should say. 550 should be July 28th on our anniversary.
Nice.
So, yep. So, again, guys, make sure you come on back next week, but enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. Stay dry. Stay cool. It's supposed to be really hot the next few days, so make sure you stay in the air conditioning. And if you got to stay inside, make sure you tune over to our YouTube page or our Facebook page. Catch some of the past shows. Tommy John should be coming up. I'm going to maybe try to get Tommy John on next week. He was a great guest. But I'll reach out to Cheryl and see if I get Tommy on. So anyway, for Jeff and myself and everybody at Hard Rock Sports, we say thank you. Have a great night, and a great week, and a great weekend, and happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Jeff, happy Father's Day, my friend.
Happy Father's Day, man, and remember. Remember.
Hopefully, I will see you on the air Saturday. If not, I will talk to you for certain off the air.
You got it, man.
Later, pal. Great show.
Later, man. Bro.
Later.
Later.